My name is Kelly Bednar. I am the Director of Education here at the BPAA. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to quickly talk about the development of a league bowler and what it goes through. They're just not born, they're just not bred. They don't have that bowling lobe in their brain. You have to kind of develop that league bowler. So we're going to kind of go through that just for a couple minutes. But as we go through this, I would like for you, if you would like to have some further information, and anybody who is in at a table here today, and Bart, cover your ears, because everybody here today will get a free online course, the Intro to Marketing course. If you just put your name and email on that little piece of paper on the table there. I told my boss to cover his ears because I didn't want to know I was giving you guys all this. That's 160 courses I'm giving away free. So know that you'll get those courses when you get home. We'll send you some information when we get home. So take the time to just fill that out while you're here. And I'm kind of talking fast intentionally because I know how much time we need to get through all this information. You're only going to hear me talking for about 5 minutes, 8 minutes, and then after that, it's all you guys sharing ideas. We're going to steer the conversation just ever so slightly and let you guys lead each other in some wonderful league ideas. I've done this a couple of times, and it's always a winner. So we're going to go through the development of a league bowler by defining I don't like the word problem, but defining the issue you have in your center. Example, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Who's here full at Wednesday night at 9 p.m.? How can we fill that? What can we do? Who here, maybe Sunday mornings, maybe it's Friday afternoons, whatever that time slot you would like to fill, and how are you going to fill it? So we're going to establish a goal. How many bowlers are we going to put in? How many weeks are they going to bowl? How much are we going to charge? We're going to define that as a group at each of your tables. So we're going to go through that, and then we'll develop a plan. How are we going to do this? How are we going to get the information out? What are we going to do? Because every one of you at the table does something differently. And I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. If you want to change tables, if you're all sitting at the same table from the same bowling center, if you want to swap tables with somebody else so that you could be sitting at a different table than somebody else from your same bowling center, you're welcome to do that, because that way you might get double the information. Again, sitting together, you may be able to talk with each other and say, hey, I like this idea, or I like that idea. So we're going to walk you through that. And so what I'm going to do is give you a couple league ideas, just a couple things to stimulate some thought for you before we get moving, so that you're not looking from a plain white blank slate. So what is the life cycle of a bowler? A life cycle of a bowler, they don't wake up in the morning just deciding to bowl a league, do they? Right? The old, hey, would you like to join a league just because you walked in the door, doesn't necessarily resonate today as it may have in a couple generations ago. So we've got to be thinking a little bit differently, a little more out of the box. So we have non-bowlers. Non-bowlers become casual bowlers. The casual bowler becomes a frequent casual bowler. Let me give you a quick definition of a frequent casual bowler. Melissa, on your Friday night at Starlight at your bowling center, do you have people who come every Friday night as a regular basis? They're not in a league, are they? That is a frequent casual bowler. They have been identified. They come every week. In fact, the bowling center probably writes their name down on the sheet expecting them to be there. They've already said, count me in, I'll be here next week. Or on their way out the door, they said, see you next week. That person is today's league bowler. They're just not in a sanctioned league. So you can think outside the box. That would be the equivalent of maybe a bowling club. So you got a lot of options there when you think about a frequent casual bowler. So you get that person who comes in once or twice a year. They get hooked into something that you offer them, whether it's a Starlight or whether it's a noontime lunch program, something that gets them to come in regularly. And I can give you another example back to Melissa's bowling center, because I used to work there. We had a gentleman, I still remember, she probably can tell you his name, I can't. He would come in and have lunch there every day in his long sleeve shirt and slacks. He'd have lunch there every day. Finally, the manager of the center goes up to him and says, hey, would you like to join a league? You bowl here 4 days a week. He says, oh no, I'm not good enough for a league. The guy's averaging like 180 now. He's got his own bowling ball. Finally got him in the league. He joined, he got his wife joined, his kids joined, and it just turned into a whole family of bowlers, because this gentleman came from a casual bowler to a casual frequent bowler to a league bowler, and I would consider him an avid bowler when I actually ended up leaving the center. So how do we move people from one piece to the next piece? That's the question. And that's what you're going to try to develop today, is identifying where they are in the cycle. Who are you targeting? Are you targeting what casual bowlers? Are you targeting frequent casuals? Are you targeting current league bowlers and trying to get them to come back in again? Are you trying to get dropped bowlers? What are you trying to do? Who's your target? Who's your target audience is a phrase you'll hear often. So in that life cycle, how are we going to move them from point A to point B to point C to point D all the way up the cycle? It's a process. You identify who you're looking at. You discover what the customer wants. Maybe it's parents with kids. Okay, so you've identified in your local area. Every one of you, as part of the BPAA, has a demographic study available to you, so you can look at the demographics from 3, 5, and 10 miles away from your bowling center. If you did not get it in your member packet when you got this year, just let me know. Give me your business card at the end of the day, and I'll get it to you. Because it's something you can look at. You can see how many parents and kids you have in your local area, and maybe it's something you want to identify. I'm just using this as an example. There could be anything else. It could be people 21 to 25. You have a large number. In this case, I'm just giving you an example. Our Discover, our conference, well, we have parents with kids. Then we're going to look at the research potential market. We have a bunch of kids 3, 5, and 10 miles by that demographic I just told you about. So now, because we have a large amount of kids, and we have parents that have kids, they want to bowl together, we're going to put together something to offer them. We're going to put together a youth adult league. Just an example, because most of us have some sort of a youth adult league, maybe on a Sunday afternoon to fill a hole, maybe it's on a weeknight, maybe it's summertime. We've all done them before. I was just trying to give you something to give you a baseline to understand what we're looking for. You're looking to build something from nothing by identifying it. So you're going to have to stretch your imagination as we're going into these case studies and let you look at each individual option. So we move people from casual to the league section by sampling. Can somebody name for me a way of sampling bowling? What's a way? Right here. Free bowling. Free bowling. Understand? Free bowling isn't about being free. It's about giving them a sample of them to bowl it, do it one time, they sample it, and then you move them on. What's another way of not so giving away the lineage? What would be another way of doing it? Say BOGO. Say BOGO. BOGO, yes, she's right. BOGOs, yes. Buy one, get ones. Yes, very good, yes. The idea here is that you don't always have to give away a free game without getting any revenue. You can do a buy one, get one. So that might be that person who's already in a frequent casual scenario and you're trying to get them to come to a league. Maybe we do some sort of a buy one, get one to move them to a different time slot. If they're already coming at 9 o'clock or 11 o'clock on Friday night, but we want them to get off of that slot to make more room there, we can move them to Tuesdays by offering them buy one, get ones on Tuesdays to try to get them to move their time to a new time area. So we can do things by using sampling to move them from point A to point B. Free games, buy one, get ones, things to that nature. Sampling is the key to converting those casual bowlers to league bowlers. So think about different ways of sampling. Another way of sampling would be bowling 2.0. Because you're going to give it, you could provide instruction. It's very short. It might be somebody say, hey, I'm not good enough for a league. Well, I've got something for you. So just throwing an idea out here, we have an upfront payment, if any. If you're going to charge anything, I know that we've had several centers around the country who aren't charging anything at all for bowling 2.0. And hey, that's great, because now you're sampling the product, getting them to bowl better, and moving them forward into a league play. And then on that week 5, you look about rolling them into a short season opportunity. Maybe we'd roll them into maybe something like an 8 for 8. So now you've taken them from 4 weeks of bowling 2.0, 8 weeks of 8 for 8. Anybody here doing 8 for 8 programs? Awesome. So you see where I'm going with this. So you can write down as your case study, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this polling center that we get, and I can see one of the case studies coming up with something like this, and build something out like that. I'm not going to give it away, so I'm going to let you guys come up. I've really led you down a path, and hopefully you'll go that direction. So on your tables, I told you, I'm done talking. We're done. So now it's all about you guys. On your table, you will see 2 League Development, what's it called? League Development and Retention Best Practices Guide 2012. I always have stumbling over that. To me, it's the League Development Guide. This was created for you by your fellow members. The League Development Committee put this program together. It's got several ideas for you to use and putting together. So as you're building these case studies here, open the first envelope, not number 2, open envelope number 1 first. Okay, so what's going to happen here, as you're opening envelope number 1, I want you to go ahead and you can open that and pass those out to everybody at your table. That's fine. Not number 2, open up number 1. This is filled with proven league formats that have worked around the country and different ideas. So if you've not, has anybody seen this program guide before? Not used. It is available for download on the BPAA website for you. Or if you've got your tablet with you and you would like to just scan the screen, you can go ahead and scan that QR code and it'll take you to that electronic version of the league practices guide. So if you want to if you have your phone, it might be a little small to see on your phone, but if you have a tablet, even an iPad mini would probably be large enough to be able to see all the information that is there. So I'll leave that on the screen for you for a little bit. There are 4 different case studies that you'll be going through. Each are spread out. So if you guys have case study number 2. They have case study number 4. Somebody in this row also has case number 4. They also have it, and somebody in that row also does. So at the end of I'm going to give you 20 minutes to kind of talk amongst yourself to come up with a game plan, as I showed you, that you're going to come up with, define the problem, establish the goal, and then develop the plan. If time permits, we'll also have you implement a plan. How far can you go with this in this very short, limited time span? If time permits. And then after that, maybe you can evaluate the results. I've got calculators here if you want to see how that financially impacts the center if you were to reach your goal. So we're going to walk through that. And what I'll do is, somebody from each of the case study tables, I'll identify you once you get started. You'll know by looking at your case study. I'll give an example. Case study number 1. You are a center in Utah. Okay? Don't have to raise your hand. But you are a center in Utah, so that's how I'll know. Someone from your table, there are 4 tables, will come up here and present that. You'll give us your idea to help solve this issue in this center in Utah. Somebody else has a center in South Carolina. So you'll have another one. We'll have you guys come up here and present those 4 ideas. So in 20 minutes, we'll come back together and do that. So your goal is to define the problem, establish the goal, and develop a plan. So we want to know where you're going to put the league, what time of day, what day part, morning, afternoon, early evening, evening, or late night. That's your 5 day parts, right? Morning, afternoon, early evening, evening, and late night. So you're going to define what day part you're going to put them in. What day of the week are you going to put them in? What are they going to be? Are they going to be casual bowlers? Are they going to be frequent casual bowlers? Is it for advanced league bowlers? Are we going to take and create a scratch league? Or are we going to have some sort of a themed league? What are we going to do? How many people are going to bowl on that team? How many teams we're going to floor? Does that make sense? It's just like our league exercise we would do at home, hopefully. Right? So, and you're going to discuss amongst yourselves how to solve each one of these bowling centers' problems. So, any questions? Any questions? Are you scared now? This is going to be fun, I promise you. It's going to be fun. All right? So, go. You get 20 minutes from right now. Go for it. I need somebody from case study number 1, which is Utah. Who has our Utahs? I need somebody. We got to bring 4 people up here. Come on, stand up here if you could. You can be the presenter. Come on up. All right? I need somebody from over here. Are you Utah? You're Utah? Come on up. So we're going to try. We've got 2 experienced people with good handwriting. Trust me, you do not want me writing on a flip chart. All right. We have 2 people, 2 lovely ladies who are going to help capture some of their ideas here. You'll have your chance. You'll have your chance. John. You have your chance. You know who I'm talking about, don't you? Yes, okay. So we're going to really quickly, as quick as we can run through these, get some of their ideas they came up with and solve this. Now, and we're not going to use Jim Stubler's solution of not buying the center. That's not an option, okay? Because let me read yours too, because not everybody knows what you got here, okay? What they had was, you just acquired an 18-lane center in Utah. I didn't say you bought it, you acquired it. Somehow, maybe you got it in a divorce. I don't know. But you've got this center in center with no leagues of any kind. None. Your center is 50-plus years old, but nicely updated with new scoring, synthetic lanes, new pin centers, and you want to get leagues started. If traditional leagues were easy to place in your center, you would already have them. They're going to have to think outside the box. So, you want to go first or last? You don't care. Anybody want to go first? She wants to go first now. See? As soon as I give the mic to somebody else. Are you okay with handing a mic?
Yeah.
I figured you were. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's hear what you got, real quick.
Okay. What we did is we decided to start with a Bowling 2.0 program for youth and adults. And what we did is we provided 3 different options of time and day. So we picked Saturday in the morning, again, youth or adult. We picked Tuesday at 12:30. That generates some of the seniors that may be out in the area. And then Thursday, an option of 4 and 7 o'clock. After the 2.0 and the coaching was done, we decided to roll with an 8-for-8 program, but we did the 8-for-8 with a youth and an adult. So these same people that we've now just coached them, we're now rolling them into an 8-for-8, gets them a bowling ball in their hands, and they're already on their way. It opens up the door for any long-term league, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, anything you want to do, you get to decide how you want to roll them over. Our key steps to success were set up the right staff to make sure that, when you're running these 8-for-8 programs and the coaching 2.0, you want them to get the right idea. You want them to learn how to bowl, but you also want them to have fun. So you want the right people in place to smile, pat them on the back, help them along with the program. Another key to success was the internet. Generate a website. Everybody loves recognition. They want to see their name in lights. They want to see anything they can do. So that means Facebook, Twitter. Start those pages. Those are free. That is free for you to do. Just go ahead and start those. And then our financial impact. It opens up anything in your bowling center, your pro shop, your birthday parties, your late night bowling, anything that you have in your center you can offer just out of these programs.
Wow. Let's give them a big hand. Nice job, table over here in the corner. Well done. Nice. Thank you so much. And we have Donna here. You guys already know the setup, so she's going to give her ideas what to do.
Well, I'm a little distressed because Melissa did a great job, and she was walking over there taking all of our ideas, just so you know. But that's okay. We came up with the same thing. To establish the goal, we wanted to take, because we were confused about one thing. And our confusion was that the business had been in business for 50 years, but it had no league bowlers. So why not? So we made the assumption that it had casual bowlers. So we would take the casual bowlers and we would create an excitement, an 8-for-8 program, bring them to become a league bowler. What we came up with for the development of our plan was Thursday evenings. We tried to stay away from Sundays. That might be a church day. Mondays is the beginning of the week. So we came up with Thursdays, 4 people, no tap, adult, child, and started as a very short season, 12 weeks. The keys to our success was we were going to market it as it's family time. Everybody wants to be with their family. We live in a very hectic society, dual income families. This would be a time where parents and child could be together. It's budget friendly. We were going to keep the cost way down and bring the interest in, create some excitement, do it at an off time. Maybe they would come back in the fall. And have people there encouraging that. The financial impact is the obvious, as Melissa so kindly said. It raises the revenue all through the center. So your snack bar has increased revenue. You have consistent cash coming into the center because you know you can have the 12 weeks if you can create this environment. And we kind of did some fast numbers. If we did the $5 lineage for the adult and the child, it produces an income of $4,080.
Awesome. Thank you. Give them a big hand. Nicely done. Let's just start. Do you have anything different?
Yes.
You do. Awesome. Now, when we get to the financial impact, we don't have to list all the same things that they've already listed if you got the same things. But you got something to do. List the new stuff. Let's hear it. Let's go.
Now, you got to realize we're going into Utah, okay? So, Utah, is there anybody from Utah in the room? Okay. Yeah, good question. Utah people like to drink, okay? So we started right with Friday nights. There's no leagues. What the heck? We may as well have Friday night league. We focused on the evening part of the Friday night league, and we're going to target companies. So Utah people work really hard during the week, and then they live for the weekend. So we're going to target those people that work really hard Monday through Friday. Friday evening, we're going to attract them to our place. Our method of getting those people is we're going to hit all the companies that have 20-plus people working in them, and we're physically going to call on them. All we need is teams of 3. We're going to start out with teams of 3. We have an 18-lane center. We're going to try to get 18 teams for 18 weeks at 7 o'clock on a Friday night. What are they going to do? They're going to bowl. They're going to pay us $12 to bowl, and they're going to obviously eat and drink, okay, while they're there. Our financial impact would be for that 18-week league, just for food and beverage and the bowling, would be just under $19,000. So that's our focus. But the way we have to get them to hook, the hook to get them there, is after we call on them, we throw one big Friday night party for them. We'll have multiple shifts if we need them. We're going to hook them while we're there with the best customer service we can give them, great food, great beverage, and show that we have a good time and make them want to come back for the other 18, to sign up for that 18-week bowling club, not a league, bowling club. So, and then after that 18 weeks, we would hook them again. Hopefully we could add another person. Instead of just having 3-person teams, we can have 4. That adds another $6,000 plus for those 18 weeks.
Awesome. Just pass the mic down there. Do you have anything? It's great job. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. So what do you got? Do you have anything new? You have some, just kind of hit the new stuff that hasn't been covered there. What do you got?
All right. As starting out with no leagues, it's tough to go out for a market. So what we thought of is, as bowling centers used to be a big community centerpiece. So if we hit the community, reach out to hopefully schools, churches, all that kind of good thing, maybe we can create a family league that would eventually give back to the community. So to start a base for your parties and everything like that, we were going to reach out to the community. We're going to do an 8-for-8 just to get them started. We're going to do 1 week, hopefully get some community leaders, maybe somebody from a church or somebody from locally to come in there to promote it, hopefully help you, and make it more a community-based thing. Do 8-for-8 and the hook. At the end of the league, hopefully we're going to fill all 18 with 4 teams. We'll give 15% of all the money that we made back to the community. Let them vote whether it go to churches, to the schools, to the kids, to the parks, anything like that. You start like that. You have a good base to start with, and you can do longer leagues. You can find your good bowlers. You can basically open up the entire market.
Big hand. Awesome ideas. I hope you're writing this stuff down, but just in case you're not, as you know, we are recording all of the sessions, so that's why we're making sure they're talking into the mic, even though some of those didn't need one, Mel. So the idea is to recapture it, so you'll be able to watch these in about 3 weeks on the internet at bowlinguniversity.net. The next one, case study 2, is you are a 32-lane center in South Carolina. Your fall couples league at 6:30 on Wednesday nights had a weak secretary, that's W-E-A-K, weak secretary, and never had made any headway. It finally imploded. You were able to salvage 4 of the teams and combine them with the social club, and now have 14 lanes available the entire night. So we need somebody from a table with each one of these. So who has the 32 lanes from South Carolina? I've got your sheet. Are you going to be the presenter? Come on. Yeah, I saw you raise your hand. All right, bring it. Oh, they're cheering on their person from the back. We should have 4 people. Oh, again, are we struggling from somebody from this row here? There he comes. All righty. So you get the idea. You saw what the group before you did. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Oh, wait, get me out of here quicker.
You don't have to stand up here so long. That's right. All right. Where you stand determines how quick you get to stand or go. If yours is really similar to the other ones, just let us know and kind of cut the highlights that you did differently for a time sake here. We'd just like to get through them all. I hope you guys are writing. These are some great ideas. Rick, did you get some ideas for your center out there? I certainly hope so. There you go. Here's our 32-lane center in South Carolina.
Okay, we came up with the idea that he gave us the hint that it's church night is on Wednesday night, so we did a church challenge league, which would challenge 14 different churches at 8 p.m. so they can have their social time after church. That would be, and we would run that 4 times per year, 10 weeks per time. And we would do a scratch league with just serious bowlers at 6 o'clock for 35 weeks as well. So we would have a scratch league at 6 and a church league at 8 o'clock at night. Our plan was to rotate to rotate the church challenge with a rotating traveling trophy, so that each church that won would get a trophy. Also, we would donate $2 per bowler per week to the church's charity. So that each church would not only be in it for the trophy and for the recognition, but they would also get a donation at the end of the league. That would bring us in $4,800 per 10 weeks and 4 times a year. That's $19,200 if we filled that church league, and it would take, like we said, 14 different churches, and we would allow the churches to bring any members they wanted to each week to make it easier for them as well, so they could have 4 new members every week. On the Scratch League, not trying to take up everybody's time, we said we'd get a beer distributor to donate $3,000 in a prize fund, and we would run that for 35 weeks with the 14 lanes, and that would bring in $23,510. And the reason for Scratch League that night is because it's easier to get the serious bowlers, like he said, that night that consider bowling as their church rather than competing.
Come on,
Okay,
come on. All right, thanks. John, give him a big hand. Thanks, John. Good ideas. Oh, I have a question. Wait, John, can't go anywhere. Follow-up question. Okay, wait. Okay, hang on.
$10 with $2 going to the prize fund.
Question was, I got to repeat this for our taping. Question: what price did you start the church leagues at? And the answer was $10 with $2 going to the prize fund. Again, big hand. Nice job. And our next one, Ryan from Illinois. Here you go.
Hi, everybody. We decided that...
Is it working? No. He turned it off. He turned it off. Look at that. He didn't want anybody else to go after him. Yeah, there you go.
We decided that as we seen that there was 4 teams, and then they combined with the social group, so there was 32 lanes. We have 14 lanes left. We went with the same idea as the past group with the Bowling 2.0. We realized we took an assumption that the fall league was couples, so it was going to be 2 couples. It was 4 people, so we needed 56 bowlers to be able to fill the house with the 14 teams. Bowling 2.0. So what we looked for was 56 bowlers, do the 8x8, and our incentive was that we were going to do a counter staff incentive, $1 per sign up. So we wanted our counter staff and everybody else to take part in this, to get the bowlers for the 2.0, 4 weeks, and then we did an 8x8 itself. So after the 8x8, it was $3,584 is our general revenue. Of course, after the bowling balls and things, it would be less than that, but we're trying to commit the casual bowlers, the casual frequent bowlers, and to fill the house itself. So overall, our financial impact would have been $3,584, and we were going to bring in outside bowler people that didn't already bowl and start them with the 2.0 itself.
Awesome. That's enough.
Okay, we made some assumptions that we were assuming were correct. We were assuming that the league was the 14 lanes that were vacant. So, again, we were going to try, our goal was to get 14 fours, but we were going to do more like a pub and grub kind of a thing. Since it was already a social night that was going on, it seemed like there was a good atmosphere going on. We assumed the 6:30 time frame to get that in there, at least in the area that I'm from. If I have an earlier league like that, I usually put some food in with them. As far as the hook, give them some practice games and things like that. Kind of keep it a social night, but maybe have theme nights and that type of thing. Donations to charities and things like that to try and come up with unique ideas with the thought of making these social bowlers into league bowlers. Figuring if we can get 14 fours, 56 bowlers, relatively cheap lineage, but with food and beverage, we're figuring in a season that's another $40,000.
Great. Pass it on there to our final word. And by the way, he said pub and grub. Good man. I had to think about that for a second. It was pub and grub. I hadn't heard that phrase before. I kind of liked it. It's kind of catchy. So, all right, finally, bring it.
Well, we did some assumptions, too, that 6:30 is that time when folks get off work. So we decided to utilize some of our local memberships we already had, like the chamber, and some networking things. So we're going to do business after hours. It's going to be more social. We'll do an 8 to 10 week program. The hook will be business networking. Bring the folks in, let them bowl, and maybe transition them into another program. It's already social on that night. We'll network this with our own networking system, LinkedIn, Twitter, texting, Facebook, email blasts, possibly some radio banner ads. We'll do outside sales. We'll do lane-to-lane sales in the building. We'll hope to keep them when they finish bowling that night by offering drink specials and half-price appetizers after 9 o'clock. And our revenue would be $12 a person, and we're looking at just the bowling part of it, $17,000 for food and beverage and general lineage for that early. We didn't consider any of the late night stuff.
Leave that there. I believe our next one is center is 24 lanes in a large crowded market. Your 8-team Thursday at 6:15 mixed league has notified you that they're moving to Bowling Center XYZ because they can start at 7 p.m. and the beer is cheaper. You now have 10 lanes available all night and 14 additional lanes available after 9 p.m. So we need our four presenters here to come on up. What we got? All righty. Again, 24-lane center has a large crowded market. You know what? I think I put these up here, didn't I? Large crowded market. Now I think about this, I forgot that I actually have. There you are. That helps you, doesn't it? Sorry, forgot to do that. Here we go. Who wants to go first? They're pointing all at you, so Mark, you're going first.
Okay.
Let's keep it quick. We're running out of time.
Okay, first of all, what I would try to do is I'd try to save the 8-team league. I would see if they would try to move their time slot to 7 o'clock. I wouldn't do anything with the beer pricing, but I would try to save that league if I could. A lot of times there's only one person in the league that is wanting to move, and if you get a hold of all the teams, you might be able to save 7 out of 8 and try to build on the other ones. If that didn't work, we were going to go with an adult youth teams of 2. We're going to put 2 teams on each lane. So we're going to try to go 20 teams of 2, run them at 6 o'clock, run 15 weeks on that, and the hook would be every team would get into the family tournament. John Summers has done it. It's been successful in his center a couple of different nights. And then at 8:45 we would try a beer and pizza league. We would go to all the oil shops and try to get young people to get in that and try to fill that at 8:45, thinking that the adult youth league would finish early and we can start them before 9 o'clock. So it'd be a little bit easier to do. Financially on that, we're going to run them both 14, 15 weeks, so it's $6,000 on the adult youth and $3,000 on the nighttime league. We would reduce lineage on that just to try to get them at 8:45. Run beer specials and make it attractive with a pizza. That's it.
Great, Mark. Oh, just before you, big hand. I just want to clarify. So what you're trying to do is you're going to keep them, not changing the beer price, but you are going to let them bowl at 7 o'clock in their 8 lanes because you still got 16 lanes you're going to go double shifted with. Did I interpret that correctly? Okay, because you've got to be careful about letting them go to 7 o'clock. If you had the whole house at 7 o'clock, what happens? Well, everyone wants to move to 7, then what happens? You're single shifted, you can never go back. Once you're at 7 o'clock, there ain't no second shift ever again. You know, you're toast. So you got to be careful. What's that? Yeah, but again, limited. You have more opportunity to do that. Just be careful. But you did a great solution. You said, hey, we're going to do a family adult thing earlier.
We would. Right. If they started at 7, we're going to do a 5:30 adult youth just with Tuesday.
Awesome. Great job. Nice job. Okay, next. Good job.
Okay, we assumed that we lost that first league. We couldn't get it back. We'd try to save it as well. And really, we didn't get anything done. We did a lot of discussion, and we never lined out anything. But so we threw them together. I threw them together. We talked about a bad bowlers club, and then we talked about a merchandise league, and we talked about a lot of really good ideas at our table. So we threw them together. We decided we would start at 6 o'clock with a bad bowlers club. 3 on a team, give them a couple of weeks of free coaching. The emphasis on this league is free, cheap, and coaching. Okay? Then they would come in for 10 weeks after that. We would have coaches roaming the floor, cost them $5 for 2 games. And then after 12 weeks, you've got some bowlers to move into another league, which you're going to come in at 7:30, follow that up with another 3-team league with a merchandise league. We talked about racing. one of the guys at our table does a racing league, and he actually does racing merchandise, jackets, shirts, whatever. Not bowling balls, not bowling bags. It's actual merchandise for that. Duck Dynasty is another big thing. We could do a Duck Dynasty league. Things that are popular, that are hot, get that kind of merchandise. That's what's gonna be the hook. That would be 3 on a team for 12 weeks. You're gonna get, we'll just say $10 in lineage, and then whatever the cost of the merchandise is, that's what you're gonna charge them. You're gonna run it for 12 weeks. We assume this was a fall session, 35, 36 weeks. You could roll this 3 times. We come up with like $10,800 for a 12-week, combining those two, $32,000 over the 3. You generate more money than you had the first time. You wouldn't have people complaining probably about cheap beer pricing. And then we've got one league. The Bad Bowlers Club is going to feed the merchandise league because you got new bowlers wanting other spots. So we thought it was a good combination to do, and one kind of feeds off of the other. There again, the hooks, free, cheap, and coaching on the first league, and then merchandise on the second. And that's what we decided to do.
Awesome. Give him a big hand. Big hand. I just talked it over with Michael and Bill here that theirs were similar, focusing a little more on food and then you were doing try to salvage the league also. So just for time purposes, we're going to move on to our fourth one. You guys get off the hook. How do you like that? What's our fourth one? Is that you guys? Yeah, here we go. Our last one. Okay, here you go. His table back there is all excited that he did such a great job. Okay, here we go. You have 16 lanes. You are the only center. Dance that for me. You are the only center in a mid to small size market. You are double shifted every night of the week with a solid open play and birthday party business on the weekends. Your boss says you need to do more daytime business or she is going to just open at 3 o'clock. Since you are the daytime shift, you need to fill something during the day or you're out of a job. So that was their program. You got somebody up here already? You got that? Okay, ignore that. All right, here we go. Here we go. And while you're going, I'm going to see if these guys have something similar, and we're going to see what we come up with. Again, for time constraints, we'll see what you got.
Our goal was to get seniors in the afternoon. We're going to go to the newspaper in this little town because all the seniors read the newspaper, and we're going to offer 2.0. We're going to do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 2 for 4 weeks. Then we're going to bowl a 12-week league, and the hook on this thing is we're going to get in there with them, and we're going to give them fun, exercise, and social, meeting all their friends and whatever. The bowling will be $8. That's $32 a team. We're going to have a league on Tuesday and a league on Thursday, and that would, if we got 10 teams on each one, that would be $3,800 for each league, which is $7,200.
Awesome. Thank you. And I just went through these guys. Big hand, big hand, big hand. Come on. All right. Time be out the window because we have 3, 4 totally unique ideas. This is pretty cool. So, Jason, go ahead.
All right, first of all, I don't know why my boss is complaining. She's double shifted every night of the week, has birthday parties. And
he caught it. Somebody caught that.
I would tell her to leave me alone. I'm cleaning. But we did decide what we should try and do is get some people in during the day. We were going to offer 2 different leagues that would run opposite of each other on Wednesday mornings, and we would start them at 10 a.m. We would look for the stay-at-home parents, and we would use our birthday party information to contact those people and see if we could get those guys into a league that would run 8 weeks, but it would go over a span of 16 weeks. And opposite of that, we would try and run a senior league. The hook that we would use for them is some food, coffee and donuts for the seniors when they bowled. And then we have an excellent homemade soup menu in our establishment. We were going to do a soup of the week each time that the moms came in and let them try one of our different soups every week. With $8 in lineage, we could create $3,840 in lineage for both of the leagues, and food and beverage beyond that, roughly $2,500 over the 16-week period for a total of $6,000 extra dollars.
Okay, quickly, we are going to have a double-edged sword going into this. We are going to go after the youth bowlers. We're going to fill our house on Saturday morning with youth bowlers. We're going to use the Bowlers Ed program to go into schools. That's the hook. We're going to give you free bowling lanes. We're going to offer some coaches to come out and help your PE teachers. In return, you're going to come and take a field trip to our bowling center. You're going to pay for the kids to come in. We're going to use that opportunity to market to those kids, to get them in our Saturday morning program and to get them into our birthday party clubs. And we're going to turn a amazing revenue off of that.
All right, Kelly, thank you. I'm shocked that in-school bowling came from your table. I'm shocked. That's sarcasm. All right, Colin.
Our program, we looked at Monday mornings from 9 to noon and trying to find some common ground between the bowlers. So we went with a bowling fitness type program that we call Bowl Away Calories, an 8-week kickstart to getting healthy. And essentially what it would work is it's an 8-for-8 program Monday mornings. There would be a brunch menu provided to all the bowlers with some limited items, salads. And in that menu, it would include the calorie information and things like that. And then on the final week, the 8-week, we'd bring in a fitness instructor or a health instructor to give them some more information on where they go from here as far as healthy living. We talked about partnering with fitness clubs so they could hand out our flyers, and then we would allow their instructors to come in and talk to the people and try and sell them gym memberships as a pickup after the club ended. So
awesome. Big hand. Big hand. Shameless plug. It's unfair that Colin was at their table. He's actually giving a presentation on new club and league and organized play ideas tomorrow afternoon, the last session of the day. Just a shameless plug for another seminar. So, and then you got Kelly. Kelly does in-school bowling for the state of Tennessee. So you get some people here that have some of their expertise they can bring to the table, and we appreciate that. So now, time is tight, but I'm still going to give you 15 minutes to do exercise number 2. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to get to 16 different ideas. So what we're going to try to do is make this a little bit of a competition. Let's see who comes up with what they believe to be the best program here, the best idea. We've heard it can't copy any of these. We've already heard, okay? We've heard 8-for-8. We've heard Bowling 2.0. You made Bart very, very happy. So the idea here now is to pick somebody at your table. Somebody at your table, and I'm sure you've already talked about it. I mean, in your discussions the first time around, you talked about, hey, in our center we have this problem or we have this issue. We'd like to fill this hole. Find that person at your table where you think they need the most help and come up with a solution for their scenario. Maybe it's Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Maybe it is the daytime. Maybe it is Saturdays. So you guys discuss amongst yourselves, come up with a solution for someone sitting at your table with you. So that's the second one here. You have to define the problem on top of the others now this time. You have to define the problem. Then come up with the goal. You guys have done a great job so far. We've done, even if you didn't stay on the task at hand, I heard a lot of conversation going on of, hey, here's some things we're doing. Here's some things that we're doing over here. And even Mona says, you know what, I've got some things I do. I run a seniors club that we run that starts every 12 weeks. And they don't have to pay if they don't want to. They got some coaches there. And she's got a once-a-month league if you have never done some of those. These are some of those things that are in the book. She even reaches out to different demographics. In this particular case, she reached out and has a very successful league in the demographic of the homosexual community. So you got a lot of different opportunities looking at different demographics and trying to create different things in your leagues. And I know a lot of that was going on. And this table over here, because I was over here, they said, whose did you solve? I said, well, it wasn't really anything. We all kind of had similar issues across the board, so we were looking at daytime. Is that what you ended up with, or did you go to youth? Daytime youth. There you go. You mixed it. I'm not surprised. So you have a lot of different things you could be doing, and I know a table over here, they just networked because you had one proprietor who's been in the business for 50 years sitting next to a proprietor who just bought a bowling center. So all that experience being just absorbed amongst each other, that to me is a success. I hope you guys have felt the same way in that what you've got there going through, that's called teeing up. Hit the surveys. Make sure you do fill out those surveys. You can do them through the QR code and fill it out that way electronically. Saves me from having to enter them. Or you can just fill out that and turn it into the ladies as you go out the door. But before we go there, I just want to make sure we've got about 7 minutes. Who thinks they've got the rock-solid hook, the thing that solves someone's thing. And I heard somebody else say they solved my Tuesday night league. Do you guys want to give that? Do you guys want to present that real quick? Who else has got one? Anybody? Let's take 3 people. Who else got one up here that they think is worth bringing up? Ray, come on up, and we got one right here. Come on up, right? And come on up. So we're going to do these really fast. We got 7 minutes here. So let's hear what they had to say. Let's set it up because they don't have the issue. So they solved your situation. So what do you think? Well, let's set up the situation for them.
All right, my Tuesday nights just became available. It looks like this fall, so I needed some ideas to fill that.
Attention, come on, people.
I don't know who said it. Somebody walked by or mentioned Pub and Grub. I love that idea. I love that it's a catchy name. Thank you for it. I'm going to be calling it my Pub and Grub League. We're going to offer them food and beer along with their lineage. It's going to all be included. We're going to come up with a different menu that they can choose 4 or 5 different things on that for the following week for their team to have, whether it be some barbecue sandwiches, something kind of cheap, but something for them. And another idea I got on my table is we're going to run the league. It's a 2-game league. This is not for experienced league bowlers. This is for newbies. 2 games in the night. I'm probably going to be charging for 3 games, but we're going to give them the option to bowl 2 more games at the end of it to improve their scores against the team they bowled against. So it'll keep them around a little longer. So if they are happy with their first 2 games, they can quit. They want to try and improve what they did, they can stick around and bowl 2 more games, and hopefully we get some more beer sales out of it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Give them a hand. Come on. Okay. All right. We got 4. You got to hurry. You guys are going to split your time up here. Let's go. Let's see what you got.
All right. A big problem that I see is that open play isn't too big. I know that all you business owners right here, your open play isn't that big. You might have a couple nights, Saturdays, Friday nights, stuff like that. But I don't really believe in open play. If you want somebody to come to your bowling center, you want to have them engaged, whether it be, a dollar night, quarter mania, something like that. So I think if you do stuff instead of open play, then just give people their shoes and go type their names in and bowl. A great idea, I think. You take your slowest day, whatever day you don't have leagues or anything like that, and you do something called a mystery jackpot. It was a great idea from Nick in California. He owns a 10-lane center. With this idea, he averaged between $1,500 and $2,000 a day on his slowest day. What you do is you got to be 18 or over. You do each game is $1. You charge them for their shoes, $2.50, or whatever you charge, and then $1 entry. So what you do is you have everybody, they can bowl as many games as they want for $1 the entire day that you're open, and each score enters you into the mystery jackpot. At the end of the day, you pick a number from 0 to 300, and that person wins $100 at the end of the day. You pick somebody that doesn't win, and you just make it progressive, 100, 200, and then you keep going like that. Nick from California, the results were there. He averaged between $1,500 and $2,000 on his slowest day.
Neat idea. Thank you so much. Give a big hand. Hope you're logging this. You may not use the exact thing they play out there. Think about how you can adjust that for yourself, how you can tweak that to work for you. Ray, hit us.
Real quick, at our table, it was like 80% was about youth bowling, needing youth leagues. So when there's 1,500 centers out there that have less than 50 kids in their programs, I shared with them what happened with us. 30 years in the business, we found a recruiting tool that worked. We bought into the 8-for-8 program. We sent our flyers out to schools. Before, we'd send 15,000 flyers out about our youth league programs and hardly got any response. I changed one thing on the flyer when I sent out for 8-for-8, and I put on the flyer just this one thing. The only way you could participate is you never bowled in a league before, and 55 kids showed up for the first session, and that's been a repeated thing. Every 8 weeks we've done it over and over again, and in probably the last 2 years we've put over 250 kids, brand new kids in the program, just by saying one thing different on the flyer. You've never bowled in a league before.
Awesome. You clarified it. You categorized it. Awesome. Big hand. And Ray, I know you know this young lady right here. But Melissa here, if anybody has issues with your youth league, Melissa, in your center, how many youth bowlers do you have?
970.
970 bowlers in one bowling center. Are you at an 80-lane bowling center?
42 lanes.
Wow. So if you have some questions on how to get youth bowlers, she is not lying. She really is the largest youth program in the country. But I know you're not talking about youth, so we'll kind of, sort of. Go for it. Time,
Okay.
you got 3 minutes.
Okay, we did, at our table, it was basically youth and daytime. So what I did is we have a program called Lifetime Sports, and it is through the high schools. The high schools, we have 6 high schools that are pretty close to our bowling center. Most come in and bowl 3 games. Some bowl only 2 because of distance. But they bus them over. We charge them $1 a game. They get a half-price bowling card, so they get to practice half-price anytime the lanes are available after their league. But this is their PE class grade. They are great. It's on Lifetime Sports, so it's bowling. I think one of ours was bowling, archery. They have to run the mile, and they have to do a bunch of stuff, and they are graded. One of our schools, his exam on bowling was 100 questions. Now, granted, some of them were your basic questions, how many strikes are in a 300, but some of them they learn the history of bowling, which is a great thing. With Lifetime Sports, we fill the house Monday through Friday up until 2 p.m. They start at 7:15 in the morning. They eat at the snack bar. They come in and bowl. They are very well behaved. It is their grade. They can't get in trouble. They'll get thrown out of the class, we've had kids expelled. Anyway, so it creates a lot of things. We've had kids that come out of this program that earn, we had a kid 2 years ago, he got $7,000 in scholarship money from our local and state boards simply by him being a sanctioned bowler. So we do sanction all of these kids. They come in. But the trick is to get a hold of a PE teacher. It is not going to the school system. It is not going to the principal of the schools. It is to go to a PE teacher and pitch the program. It's easy sell because it gets a lot of your schools, I know a lot of ours are overcrowded. So what happens is it gets these kids off campus for that period, and it opens up the tracks and the basketball courts and things like that, so they can actually, have other kids come in, and it frees up that space. Pitch it to that PE teacher and let him go to the principal, him or her go to the principal and go that route. And the financial impact is huge. Birthday parties, late night. Our Saturday morning youth program, we went from about 110 bowlers to about 170 on Saturday morning. So Lifetime Sports, it's a great program. Thank you, Mel. Big hand. Thinking outside the box. That's kind of the theme today. I know you guys here, just a real quick point, I heard you guys talking about time bowling versus bowling the traditional number of games. Our youth program that I run, we run 1 game of bumpers and 2 games for bantams, and then everybody else bowls 3. So think options other than what you've traditionally done, because you've traditionally capped out. What can you do in other times to fill it out? USA Bowling. I can't believe none of you mentioned USA Bowling. What a huge program that is. So there's lots of ideas. I hope all of you would continue some of these conversations with your new friends you just met at your tables, and many more tonight at the reception, 7 o'clock back in the Rivoli where you just saw Bruce Jenner. Next sessions start in 15, 14, 13 minutes. Thank you all for coming. Very well done.